Commander Hanwoo stood at the observation deck of New Busan Station, watching the twin suns of Kepler 442 paint the morning sky in shades of gold and orange. 8 years had passed since the first human settlers arrived on this distant world, and the colony had grown from a simple research outpost into a thriving community. The view never got old for Hanwoo. Rolling hills stretched beyond the main settlement, dotted with mining equipment and the neat rows of agricultural domes that fed the colony's 2,847 residents. The communication console behind him chirped softly. Hanwoo turned and pressed the accept button. The face of Dr. Kim Nari appeared on the screen, her expression bright with excitement. "Commander, you need to see what we found in Sector 7, she said. Her voice carried the enthusiasm that made her one of the colony's most valued researchers. "The mineral samples from the deep core drilling show something incredible." Hanwoo smiled. Nari's discoveries had already helped the colony exceed all production targets for rare minerals. Earth's industrial complexes depended on the steady stream of materials from New Busan. "What is it this time, Doctor?" "Quantum-stable crystals. More than we ever imagined possible. If these readings are correct, this planet could revolutionize faster than light travel." She held up a small glowing crystal that seemed to bend light around its edges. "Commander, we're sitting on the most valuable deposit in known space." The implications hit Hanwoo immediately. More ships from Earth would come. More colonists. More attention from the home system. New Busan would transform from a quiet mining outpost into a major hub of human activity. "Send me the full report," Hanwoo said. "And Nari, keep this information restricted for now. We need to inform Earth through proper channels." Dr. Kim Nari nodded and ended the transmission. Hanwoo walked back to the observation window. The peaceful scene outside would change soon enough. Across the colony, engineer Park Jino was having his own busy morning. The main mining operation ran like clockwork under his supervision, but the deeper they dug, the more complex the extraction became. His team of 30 engineers and technicians had turned the initial small-scale operation into an efficient industrial complex. "Boss, the new tunnels are ready for inspection," called out his assistant, a young man named Kang-soo. The underground network had grown extensive over the years, creating a maze of passages and storage areas beneath the colony. Park Jino grabbed his helmet and followed Kang-soo into the main elevator. As they descended, he felt pride in what they had built. The mining operation was completely automated in some sections, with robotic systems handling the dangerous work. Safety protocols kept accidents to almost zero, and productivity continued to increase each quarter. "How deep are we going with the new shafts?" Park Jino asked. "Another 200 meters. Dr. Kim thinks the best deposits are even deeper." Kang-soo checked his tablet. "We'll need to upgrade the ventilation system soon." Park Jino made a mental note. Every expansion required careful planning. The colony depended on the mining operation for its economic survival, but safety came first. He had seen too many mining disasters in his younger days working asteroid operations near Mars. At the colony's security center, Captain Lee Hana was reviewing the morning reports. 2 patrol ships maintained regular sweeps of the system, watching for asteroids, space debris, or anything unusual. The job was mostly routine, but Hana took it seriously. New Busan sat on the edge of explored space, far from Earth's main shipping lanes and military protection. Her security team consisted of 40 trained personnel, most with military backgrounds like herself. They maintained the colony's defenses, trained civilian volunteers, and kept watch over the mining operations. The defensive systems included ground-based energy weapons, early warning sensors, and emergency protocols for various threat scenarios. "Any contacts on the long-range sensors?" Hana asked her duty officer, Lieutenant Park Min. "Nothing unusual, Captain. Regular commercial traffic from Earth is still 3 weeks out. No unidentified signals or objects." Park Min had been with the security team since the colony's 2nd year. His calm professionalism made him invaluable during the long, quiet watches. Captain Lee Hana nodded and walked to the tactical display showing the entire Kepler 442 system. 3 planets orbited the twin suns, but only their world could support human life. The other planets were barren rocks, useful only for their mineral resources. Several automated mining stations operated on the inner planets, sending their products to New Busan for processing and shipment to Earth. The defensive plan was simple, but effective. The patrol ships could detect incoming threats days before they reached the planet. Ground-based weapons could engage hostile ships that got too close. Emergency shelters throughout the colony could protect civilians during attacks. Evacuation procedures would move people to the deep mining tunnels if necessary. Hana hoped they would never need these preparations, but her military training demanded readiness. In the colony's main administrative building, Civilian Council leader Choi Dae was handling the daily business of governing 2,147 people. Unlike military outposts, New Busan operated as a democratic community where civilians had a voice in important decisions. The council met weekly to discuss everything from school, funding to expansion plans. The hydroponics bay needs upgrades, reported council member Yoon Hae. Population growth means we need more food production capacity. Choi Dae reviewed the budget projections. The mining operation provided steady income, but major expansions required approval from Earth. How much will it cost? 2 million credits for the equipment plus 6 months installation time. Yoon Hae had run the numbers carefully, but it will support 500 additional residents. The council discussion continued through various topics. Medical supplies, education programs, recreational facilities, and communication upgrades all needed attention. Running a colony required balancing countless details while maintaining the sense of community that made New Busan more than just another industrial outpost. Families lived here. Children attended school and played in the parks. Adults built careers and friendships. Elderly residents enjoyed their retirement in the peaceful environment. New Busan had become a real home for its people, not just a temporary assignment. As evening approached, the community gathered for their weekly social event in the main plaza. Local musicians played while children ran between the food stalls operated by various families. The atmosphere was relaxed and friendly, with people from different backgrounds sharing stories and laughter. Commander Han Woo walked through the crowd, greeting residents and enjoying the sense of normalcy. Dr. Kim Nari sat at a table with other scientists, discussing their latest research projects. Engineer Park Jino shared drinks with his mining crew, celebrating another successful week of operations. Captain Lee Hana watched from the security office, smiling at the peaceful scene while maintaining her professional vigilance. The twin suns set slowly, casting long shadows across the colony. Security lights activated automatically, providing gentle illumination for the evening activities. The night shift took over essential operations while most residents headed home to their families. In space above the planet, the patrol ships continued their silent watch. Automated sensors scanned the surrounding star systems for any signs of approaching ships or unusual activity. Everything appeared normal and peaceful. Commander Han Woo stood again at his observation window before heading to his quarters. The colony lights twinkled below like a small city. Tomorrow would bring more work, more progress, and more growth for their community. He had no way of knowing that this was the last peaceful night New Busan would ever see. Far beyond the range of their sensors, 12 alien warships had already begun their approach to the Kepler 442 system. The Vorthan Empire had discovered the quantum crystal deposits and decided to claim them. The attack would come in 36 hours. The alarm screamed through New Busan Station at 0347 hours, jerking Commander Han Woo from deep sleep. He rolled out of bed and grabbed his uniform, muscle memory from 20 years of military service taking over. The emergency communication channel crackled to life on his personal device. "Commander, we have multiple contacts on long-range sensors." Captain Lee Hana's voice was tense but controlled. 12 large vessels, unknown configuration, approaching fast. Han Woo was already running toward the command center. "Time to intercept?" 4 hours at their current speed. "They're not responding to our hail attempts." The command center buzzed with activity when Han Woo arrived. The main display showed 12 red dots moving steadily toward their system. The ships were massive, each one larger than anything in Earth's fleet. Their energy signatures indicated advanced technology and heavy weapons. "Keep trying to establish communication," Han Woo ordered. "Follow first contact protocols. Maybe they don't understand our language." Lieutenant Park Min worked the communication console, sending messages in multiple Earth languages and mathematical sequences. The approaching ships remained silent. Dr. Kim Nari hurried into the command center, still wearing her lab coat over hastily thrown-on clothes. "Commander, could this be related to the quantum crystal discovery?" Maybe someone else knows about the deposits. Possible, Han Wu said, studying the tactical display. How could they have detected our operations? Quantum crystals emit unique energy signatures. Advanced sensors might pick them up from several light years away. Nari pulled up her research data on a side screen. If they have better technology than us, they could have been monitoring this system for some time. Captain Lee Hana approached with a grim expression. Commander, our patrol ships report that the incoming vessels are definitely military. Heavy armor, multiple weapon systems, and they're maintaining attack formation. Han Wu felt his stomach tighten. New Busan's defenses were designed for asteroid strikes and pirate raiders, not a full military fleet. Begin evacuation procedures. All non-essential personnel to the emergency shelters. Get our patrol ships into defensive positions. The colony's emergency systems activated throughout the settlement. Warning sirens echoed across the residential areas as families gathered emergency supplies and headed to designated safe zones. The evacuation plan had been practiced many times, but never under the threat of actual attack. Engineer Park Gino received the evacuation order while inspecting the deep mining tunnels. His first thought was for his crew working in various parts of the complex. The mining operation employed over 300 people across multiple shifts. Emergency evacuation. All teams report to surface immediately. He broadcast on the mining communication network. This is not a drill. His assistant, Kang Su, looked confused. Boss, what's happening up there? Unknown ships approaching. Military thinks they might be hostile. Park Gino checked his emergency protocols tablet. We need to secure the mining equipment and get everyone to safety. The automated systems could run themselves for several days, but Park Gino wanted to make sure no one was trapped underground if something went wrong. The tunnel network was extensive, with multiple levels and chambers carved from solid rock. In an emergency, the tunnels could serve as shelters, protected from orbital bombardment. Above ground, families streamed toward the emergency shelters built into reinforced underground bunkers. Parents carried small children while older kids helped with luggage and supplies. The orderly evacuation showed the result of years of preparation and training. Civilian Council leader Choi Dae coordinated with the emergency response teams, making sure every residential area was properly evacuated. How many people are still in the outer settlements? He asked his emergency coordinator. About 200 in the agricultural domes and research stations. Transport vehicles are picking them up now. The agricultural areas lay scattered around the main colony, connected by roads and communication links. Getting everyone to safety would take time they might not have. In space, the two patrol ships New Seoul and Busan Hope moved to intercept positions. Each ship carried a crew of 12 and was armed with energy weapons designed for anti-pirate operations. Against 12 heavy warships, they were hopelessly outmatched. Captain Lee Hana monitored their progress from the command center. New Seoul reports they're in position. Busan Hope is moving to flank the incoming formation. Tell them to stay back and observe, Han Wu ordered. If these ships are hostile, I don't want our people caught in a hopeless fight. The alien fleet continued its approach, still maintaining complete silence despite repeated communication attempts. Their ships were sleek and angular, built for war rather than exploration or trade. Energy readings showed they carried weapons far more advanced than anything Earth had developed. 1 hour before projected arrival, the alien ships suddenly accelerated. Their formation spread out surrounding the planet from multiple angles. Any doubt about their intentions vanished when weapon systems began powering up across the entire fleet. All ships, this is Commander Han Wu of New Busan Colony, he broadcast on all frequencies. We are peaceful settlers from Earth. We do not want conflict. Please respond and state your intentions. The response came not in words, but in weapons fire. The lead alien vessel, a massive Dreadnought-class ship, opened fire on the patrol ship New Seoul. Advanced energy beams cut through the small vessel's shields and hull like paper. The ship exploded in a brilliant flash, taking all 12 crew members with it. New Seoul is gone, Captain Lee Hana reported, her voice tight with shock. No survivors. The second patrol ship, Busan Hope, tried to retreat but was caught by 2 alien cruisers. They destroyed it methodically, ensuring no escape pods could launch. Busan Hope destroyed, came the report. All patrol vessels lost. Commander Han Wu stared at the tactical display in horror. 24 of his people had just died without warning or provocation. The alien fleet was now in orbit, positioning themselves for planetary bombardment. Activate all defensive systems, he ordered. Prepare for orbital attack. The colony's ground-based weapons powered up, but they were designed to engage small ships, not a full battle fleet. Energy cannons and missile batteries represented the colony's last line of defense. The alien bombardment began without mercy. The first targets were the communication arrays and sensor installations. Brilliant energy beams lanced down from orbit, vaporizing the colony's ability to call for help or track the attacking ships. Communications are down, reported. Lieutenant Park Min had lost contact with Earth. Han Wu grabbed the emergency recorder and began speaking rapidly. This is Commander Han Wu, New Busan Colony, Kepler 442 system. We are under attack by unknown alien forces. 12 heavy warships. They destroyed our patrol ships without warning. Beginning orbital bombardment of civilian targets. The building shook as energy beams struck nearby structures. Through the command center windows, Han Wu could see fires spreading across the residential areas. The aliens were not targeting military installations or the mining operation. They were systematically destroying the entire colony. Get that message to the emergency transmitter, Han Wu ordered, handing the recorder to Park Min. If any of us survive, Earth needs to know what happened here. Engineer Park Jin-ho had stayed behind to help with the evacuation, ensuring his mining crews reached safety. As he ran toward the emergency shelters, an energy beam struck the main administration building, reducing it to rubble in seconds. The aliens were not interested in capturing the colony or taking prisoners. They were eliminating every trace of human presence on the planet. Dr. Kim Nari had reached one of the emergency shelters when the bombardment intensified. The reinforced bunker shook with each impact, but the thick concrete and steel construction held against the energy weapons. Around her, families huddled together, parents comforting frightened children. How long can these shelters hold? Asked Council Leader Choi Dae. They're rated for asteroid impacts and nuclear weapons, Nari replied. But those alien weapons might be more powerful than anything we planned for. The bombardment continued for 2 hours, systematically destroying every structure on the surface. When the orbital fire finally stopped, landing craft began descending from the alien ships. The ground assault was about to begin. Captain Lee Hana organized the remaining security personnel for a desperate last stand. 40 defenders with small arms against an unknown number of alien soldiers with advanced technology. The odds were hopeless, but they would not surrender. Every minute we hold them is another minute for civilians to escape, she told her team. We make them pay for every meter. The alien soldiers that emerged from the landing craft were tall, reptilian beings with advanced armor and energy weapons. They moved with military precision, clearing the colony area by area, hunting for survivors. The security team fought bravely but was overwhelmed within an hour. Captain Lee Hana was among the last to fall, taking 3 alien soldiers with her before their energy weapons cut her down. The hunt for survivors continued through the day. The aliens showed no mercy, executing anyone they found hiding in the ruins. They seemed determined to leave no witnesses to their unprovoked attack. 3 months after the attack on New Busan, Commander Han Wu's final transmission reached Earth through the Deep Space Communication Relay Network. The message arrived at Luna Station during the morning shift change, processed by a routine communications officer who almost dismissed it as corrupted data. Lieutenant Sarah Chen stared at her screen in confusion. The transmission contained video footage, audio recordings, and sensor data that seemed impossible. She called her supervisor immediately. Sir, I'm getting something strange from the Kepler 442 system. It looks like a distress call, but the timestamp is 3 months old. Communications Director James Park took one look at the data and reached for his emergency communicator. Get me Admiral Song Kyung immediately. Priority Alpha clearance. Within minutes, the message was racing through Earth's military command structure. Admiral Song Kyung, Supreme Commander of Earth Defense Forces, watched Commander Han Wu's final recording in his secure office beneath the Pacific Defense Complex. This is Commander Han Wu, New Busan Colony, Kepler 442 system. We are under attack by unknown alien forces. 12 heavy warships. They destroyed our patrol ships without warning, beginning orbital bombardment of civilian targets. The video showed the alien fleet in orbit, their sleek warships raining death on the peaceful colony below. Sensor readings identified the attacking vessels as belonging to an unknown species with technology superior to Earth's current capabilities. Admiral Song Kyung had served in Earth's military for 35 years, but nothing had prepared him for this moment. Humanity's first contact with alien intelligence had resulted in the massacre of an entire colony. "Get me President Kim Tae on secure channel," he ordered his aide, "and activate the emergency defense protocol. I want all fleet commanders in the war room within 2 hours." President Kim Tae was in a cabinet meeting when the call came through. Her face went pale as she listened to Admiral Song Kyung's brief report. The implications were staggering. Not only had Earth lost a colony and nearly 3,000 citizens, but they now faced an unknown alien threat with superior technology. "How long before they could attack Earth?" she asked. "Unknown, Madam President. We don't know their capabilities or intentions beyond what we've seen, but they showed no interest in communication or negotiation. They simply attacked without warning." President Kim Tae dismissed her cabinet and called for an emergency session of the Earth Defense Council. Representatives from every major nation and space colony would need to hear this news and decide humanity's response. The secure conference room beneath, Geneva filled with Earth's most senior military and political leaders. The video from New Busan played on the main screen, showing the systematic destruction of the colony and the murder of its inhabitants. General Yu Bin, head of strategic operations, provided the initial analysis. "Intelligence confirms this species calls itself the Vorthan Empire. We've detected their territorial markers in 17 star systems rimward of our position." "What do we know about their military capabilities?" asked Fleet Admiral Kang Minho. "Advanced energy weapons, superior armor and shielding, faster-than-light drives that outperform our current technology." General Yu Bin displayed technical readouts captured from the attack footage. Conservative estimates put their fleet strength at over 200 capital ships. The room fell silent. Earth's entire defensive fleet numbered only 80 capital ships, and most were designed for patrol duties rather than major fleet engagements. Dr. An Suri, Chief of Xenological Affairs, presented her research on the Vorthan Empire. "We've identified communications intercepts dating back 5 years. They have attacked at least 3 other species in this region of space. Each time they completely destroyed the target civilization. A pattern of genocide," President Kim Tae said quietly. "They're not interested in conquest or negotiation. They're systematically eliminating potential threats or competitors." Admiral Song Kyung stood and addressed the council. "The question before us is simple. How do we respond to the unprovoked murder of 3,000 Earth citizens?" The debate that followed lasted 18 hours. Some council members argued for a defensive strategy, fortifying Earth systems and hoping the Vorthans would not attack again. Others pushed for immediate diplomatic contact, seeking to understand the aliens' motivations. But the majority voice grew stronger as the discussion continued. The Vorthans had shown no mercy to the civilians of New Busan. They had executed surrender attempts and killed children along with adults. This was not a misunderstanding or a territorial dispute. This was cold-blooded murder. Fleet Admiral Kang Minho finally voiced what many were thinking. "If we don't respond, what message does that send? That humanity can be attacked without consequences? That our colonies are defenseless targets?" "The precedent matters," agreed General Lim Yuna, head of Strategic Weapons Division. "Other species will be watching our response. Show weakness now, and we invite more attacks." President Kim Tae called for a formal vote. The resolution was simple and direct. The Earth Defense Council authorizes the complete military destruction of the Vorthan Empire in response to their unprovoked attack on New Busan colony. The vote was unanimous. Admiral Song Kyung was given absolute authority over the largest military mobilization in human history. Every ship, every weapon, every resource would be directed toward one goal: the complete elimination of the Vorthan threat. "How long do you need?" President Kim Tae asked. 6 months for full preparation. We'll need to develop new weapons, retrofit our fleet, and plan the attack carefully." Admiral Song Kyung had already begun calculating requirements. "This won't be a simple military engagement. We're talking about sterilizing 17 star systems." The moral weight of that decision was not lost on the council members. They were planning genocide in response to genocide, but the video from New Busan played again on the screens, showing Vorthan soldiers executing human civilians who were trying to surrender. "They made their choice when they attacked innocent people," General Yu Bin said. "We're simply responding in kind." Within hours, every military installation in the Earth system began receiving new orders. Defense contractors were given unlimited funding to develop planet-killing weapons. Shipyards started around-the-clock construction of new warships. Research facilities began crash programs to develop countermeasures for Vorthon technology. Dr. Suri established a special intelligence unit to gather information about Vorthon colonies, military installations, and population centers. If Earth was going to destroy an entire civilization, they needed to know exactly where to strike. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Deep in the mining tunnels of New Busan, engineer Park Gino and his 23 survivors had been sending covert transmissions for months. They had recovered Vorthon equipment from the battlefield and studied their operational patterns. The Vorthons are strip mining the quantum crystals, Park Gino reported in a coded transmission. They've established a temporary base and are shipping materials to their home system. We've identified their shipping routes and communication frequencies. Dr. Kim Nari, among the survivors, provided detailed analysis of Vorthon technology. Their weapons are based on quantum field manipulation, the same principles we use for faster-than-light travel, but weaponized. If we can develop countermeasures, we might be able to level the technological playing field. This intelligence proved invaluable for Earth's war planning. The survivors risked exposure by monitoring Vorthon operations, but their information helped Earth strategists identify weaknesses in the alien defenses. General Lim Yuna's weapons division worked around the clock to develop humanity's response. The quantum crystal deposits stolen from New Busan ironically provided the key to creating weapons that could destroy Vorthon shields and armor. We're developing 3 primary weapon systems. She reported to Admiral Song Kyung. Quantum disruption missiles that can destabilize planetary cores, self-replicating hunter-killer drones, and directed energy weapons that can penetrate their shielding. The most controversial weapon was codenamed Ragnarok Protocol. Captain Nam Suk, Earth's top pilot, would command a specially modified ship capable of triggering stellar collapse. Entire star systems could be destroyed by destabilizing their central stars. The moral implications are staggering, admitted tech specialist Oh Yuna, who designed the system. We're talking about weapons that can destroy billions of lives in minutes. So did the Vorthons when they attacked New Busan, Admiral Song Kyung replied. The difference is we're using these weapons against those who started this war. As Earth's military machine reached full mobilization, news of the attack on New Busan began spreading through civilian populations. The reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Anger, grief, and determination swept across human worlds. Recruitment offices were flooded with volunteers wanting to join the military response. Industrial production shifted entirely to war materials. Scientists abandoned peaceful research to develop new weapons. Humanity was transforming itself into a war machine focused on a single goal. The message was clear throughout human space. The attack on New Busan would not go unanswered. Every Vorthon world would pay the price for what their empire had done to innocent humans. 6 months after the attack on New Busan, the largest military fleet in human history assembled in the outer reaches of the Sol system. 212 capital ships floated in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming with fresh armor and weapon systems that had never existed before the Vorthon attack. Fleet Admiral Kang Minho stood on the bridge of the flagship Terra's Wrath, watching the final ships take their positions. Each vessel represented months of focused engineering and construction. Earth's entire industrial capacity had been redirected toward building this fleet and its terrible weapons. Admiral, all ships report ready for departure, announced his communications officer. Lieutenant Commander Park Soo, very good. Signal all ships to prepare for final briefing. Admiral Kang Minho activated the fleet-wide communication system. The faces of 200 ship captains appeared on screens throughout the bridge. Ladies and gentlemen, in 12 hours we begin Operation Silent Thunder. Our mission is simple: the complete destruction of the Vorthon Empire. They showed no mercy to our people at New Busan. We will show none to them. The fleet contained ships that would have been impossible to imagine before the attack. The dreadnoughts Vengeance or Justice and Retribution each carried planet-killing weapons capable of cracking worlds open like eggs. Dozens of cruisers were armed with quantum disruption torpedoes that could destabilize matter at the molecular level. Most feared were the ghost ships, vessels, equipped with experimental cloaking technology that made them invisible to Vorthan sensors. These ships would strike first, eliminating defensive installations before the main fleet arrived. General Lim Yuna had spent months perfecting the weapons that would end the Vorthan Empire. Her weapons laboratory had become the most classified facility on Earth, developing tools of destruction that pushed the boundaries of physics, the quantum cascade. Warheads will trigger chain reactions in planetary cores, she explained to Admiral Kang Minho during the final weapons briefing. One missile can destroy a world. We have enough to eliminate every Vorthan planet twice over. Captain Nam Suk commanded the most devastating weapon of all. His ship, Ragnarok, was designed around a single purpose, triggering stellar collapse. The ship could destabilize a star, causing it to go supernova and destroy everything in the system. The weapon has been tested on uninhabited systems, Nam Suk reported. It works exactly as designed. Complete sterilization of all planets within 12 billion kilometers. Tech specialist O. Yuna had developed the coordination systems that would allow the fleet to attack 17 star systems simultaneously. We'll arrive within minutes of each other across all targets. The Vorthans won't have time to warn their other colonies or mount organized resistance. The strategic planning had taken months of careful study. Earth's intelligence services had mapped every Vorthan installation, identified their military bases, and located their population centers. The attack would leave nothing to chance. Dr. An Suri provided the final intelligence briefing. Vorthan population is concentrated on 12 core worlds, with military installations spread across 17 systems. Total estimated population is 2.3 billion individuals. The number hung in the air like a weight. Earth was planning to kill 2.3 billion sentient beings in a matter of hours. The moral implications were staggering, but the video from New Busan played constantly on military networks, reminding everyone why this was necessary. Admiral Song Kyung had remained on Earth to coordinate the overall operation. His command center, deep beneath the Pacific Defense Complex, monitored every aspect of the fleet's preparation. Multiple backup plans existed for every possible scenario. What if they surrender? Asked President Kim Tae during their final meeting. They'll have the opportunity to surrender just like our people at New Busan did. Admiral Song Kyung replied coldly. We know how the Vorthans respond to surrender attempts. In the deep mining tunnels of New Busan, Engineer Park Jino and his 23 survivors continued their dangerous intelligence gathering. They had watched Vorthan strip mining operations for months, learning their patrol schedules and defensive weaknesses. Dr. Kim Nari had developed a complete understanding of Vorthan technology by studying captured equipment. Their shields rotate frequencies every few seconds, she transmitted to Earth. But there's a 3-second window during each rotation where they're vulnerable. This intelligence proved crucial for Earth's attack planning. The ghost ships would strike during those vulnerable windows, eliminating defensive platforms before they could respond. Lieutenant Park Min, one of the survivors, had taken over communication duties with Earth. The Vorthans have established permanent mining operations here. They're planning to strip the entire planet of quantum crystals over the next 5 years. The survivors' courage in maintaining contact with Earth had provided invaluable intelligence for the coming attack. They risked discovery every time they transmitted, but their information helped ensure the fleet's success. Council leader Choi Dae, also among the survivors, had documented every Vorthan atrocity he witnessed. They're not soldiers, they're exterminators. They show no emotion when killing civilians. It's just business to them. These reports reinforced Earth's determination to respond with equal ruthlessness. The Vorthans had demonstrated they were incapable of coexistence with other species. They would have to be eliminated completely. As the fleet prepared for departure, each ship received its specific target assignments. The attack would unfold in 3 phases. Ghost ship strikes to eliminate defenses, main fleet arrival for orbital bombardment, and planet killer deployment for final sterilization. Captain Lee Hana had survived the attack on New Busan by hiding in the security bunker's sub-basement. She had been rescued 3 months later by a covert reconnaissance mission and now commanded one of the ghost ships in the attack. Fleet, this is for everyone who died at New Busan, she told her crew as they prepared for departure. We're going to make sure it never happens again. Her ship, Silent Vengeance, was equipped with the most advanced stealth systems and enough firepower to destroy orbital installations before they could detect the attack. She would lead the first wave against Vorthos Prime, the Vorthon homeworld. The fleet's departure was scheduled for maximum psychological impact. Earth's leadership wanted the Vorthons to understand that their attack on New Busan had triggered an overwhelming response. All ships, this is Fleet Admiral Kang Minho. We depart for Vorthon space in 1 hour. Remember why we're doing this. Remember New Busan. Remember our people who died without warning or mercy. The massive fleet began moving, 200 ships accelerating toward the edge of the Sol system, where they would engage their faster-than-light drives. The journey to Vorthon space would take 6 days, arriving simultaneously at all 17 target systems. On Earth, President Kim Tae addressed the planet's population. Today, humanity responds to the unprovoked attack on New Busan colony. Our fleet carries the anger and determination of our entire species. The Vorthon Empire will answer for their crimes against innocent civilians. The broadcast was transmitted throughout human space, reaching every colony and outpost. The message was clear. Attacking humans carried consequences that would be swift, overwhelming, and final. As the fleet entered faster-than-light travel, Admiral Song Kyung activated the final phase of Operation Silent Thunder. Deep space monitoring stations began tracking Vorthon communications, watching for any sign that Earth's approach had been detected. No increase in Vorthon military communications, reported Intelligence Director Kim Yu. They appear unaware of our approach. The element of surprise remained intact. Earth's fleet would arrive at Vorthon worlds without warning, just as the aliens had done at New Busan. General Yu Bin coordinated the timing of the attacks from his strategic command center. All ghost ships will strike at exactly 1400 hours standard time. Main fleet arrives 30 minutes later. Planet killers deploy after orbital resistance is eliminated. The precision required for simultaneous attacks across 17 star systems had never been attempted before. Earth's military had developed new communication systems and navigation protocols specifically for this operation. Tech specialist Oh Yuna monitored the fleet's progress from her technical command center. All ships maintaining perfect formation and timing will arrive exactly on schedule. The quantum disruption weapons had been tested extensively on uninhabited worlds. The results were horrifying and complete. Nothing survived the molecular breakdown triggered by the warheads. Captain Nam Suk ran final checks on the Ragnarok system as his ship approached the Vorthon home system. Stellar destabilization weapon ready for deployment. One shot will trigger a supernova that will destroy everything within 12 billion kilometers. The weapon had been Earth's most closely guarded secret. The ability to destroy entire star systems represented the ultimate escalation in warfare. But the attack on New Busan had crossed a line that demanded the ultimate response. As the fleet neared its targets, Admiral Kang Minho opened communications with all ships. In 6 hours, we will arrive at Vorthon space. They attacked our people without warning or mercy. We will do the same to them. The crews of 200 ships prepared for what would be the most devastating military action in human history. The ghost ships materialized in Vorthon space like specters of death, their cloaking systems allowing them to approach undetected until the final moment. Captain Lee Hana watched through the viewscreen of Silent Vengeance as Vorthos Prime grew larger, the blue-green homeworld of the species that had murdered her friends. All ghost ships, this is Hana, begin Phase 1 on my mark. She checked her chronometer, exactly 1400 hours standard time. Across 17 star systems, 50 ghost ships were preparing to strike simultaneously. Mark. The stealth ships dropped their cloaking and opened fire with concentrated quantum disruption beams. Vorthon defense platforms that had protected their worlds for centuries vanished in brilliant flashes of light, their molecular structure torn apart at the quantum level. On Vorthos Prime, the planetary defense grid was eliminated in 12 minutes. Similar destruction unfolded across every Vorthon world as Earth's ghost ships systematically removed all orbital defenses. Vorthon emergency communications screamed across their networks as panicked defenders tried to understand what was happening. The attacks were too coordinated, too sudden, and too overwhelming for effective response. Unknown vessels attacking all systems simultaneously transmitted a Vorthon commander from their military headquarters. Defensive platforms destroyed, unable to identify attackers. The response came from Admiral Song Kyung himself, broadcasting from Earth on all Vorthon frequencies. This is Admiral Song Kyung of the Earth Defense Forces. You are under attack in response to your unprovoked assault on New Busan Colony. You showed no mercy to our people. We will show none to yours. The main fleet arrived 30 minutes later, 200 capital ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel in perfect formation around each Vorthon world. The sight was overwhelming. Massive human dreadnoughts appearing simultaneously across 17 star systems. Fleet Admiral Kang Minho stood on the bridge of Terra's Wrath as it took position above Vorthos Prime. The planet below held 400 million Vorthon civilians, the largest concentration of their species. All ships begin orbital bombardment, target all population centers, industrial facilities, and military installations. His voice was cold and professional. Leave nothing standing. The bombardment began with surgical precision. Energy beams lanced down from orbit, vaporizing Vorthon cities in seconds. The aliens' advanced shields and armor were useless against Earth's quantum disruption weapons. Vorthon ships tried to launch from planetary bases, but they were destroyed before they could reach orbit. Earth's fleet had complete space superiority, and the aliens had no effective defense against the new human weapons. On Vorthos Prime's surface, Vorthon leaders made desperate attempts to communicate with the attacking fleet. Their transmissions filled the communication channels with pleas for negotiation and offers of surrender. "We offer immediate cessation of hostilities," transmitted the Vorthon High Command. "We will provide reparations for any damages caused to your colony. Please cease your attack and enter negotiations." Admiral Kang Minho's response was broadcast on all frequencies. "You were given the opportunity to negotiate when you approached New Busan. You chose to attack civilians without warning. You executed our people who tried to surrender. We choose to respond in kind." The bombardment continued without pause. Vorthon cities that had stood for thousands of years were reduced to glowing craters. Industrial complexes that had powered their empire were vaporized. Military bases became smoking ruins. General Lim Yuna monitored the attack from her command ship. Justice delivered. Her quantum cascade warheads were performing exactly as designed, triggering chain reactions that tore apart Vorthon installations at the molecular level. Phase 2 complete across all targets. She reported to Admiral Kang Minho. All surface installations destroyed. Proceeding to Phase 3. Phase 3 was the deployment of planet-killer weapons. Earth had developed missiles capable of destabilizing planetary cores, triggering massive earthquakes and volcanic eruptions that would make entire worlds uninhabitable. Tech specialist Oyuna coordinated the timing from her technical command ship. All vessels report ready for planet-killer deployment. Targets acquired and locked. The moral weight of what they were about to do was not lost on the human crews. They were about to render 17 worlds completely lifeless, killing billions of sentient beings. But the images from New Busan played constantly on their screens, reminding them why this was necessary. Captain Nam Suk received the order to deploy the Ragnarok weapon against the Vorthon home system. His ship moved into position near the system's star, a massive red giant that provided heat and light to 4 planets. "Ragnarok weapon armed and ready," he reported. "One shot will destabilize the star and destroy everything in the system." The weapon was the culmination of human science and engineering, a device that could trigger stellar collapse and create a supernova. Nothing within 12 billion kilometers would survive the explosion. As the planet killers prepared to launch, the Vorthon leaders made one final, desperate transmission. "Please, we have children on these worlds. Innocent civilians who had nothing to do with the attack on your colony. Show mercy." Admiral Song Kyung's response came from Earth, transmitted across all 17 target systems. "You showed no mercy to our children at New Busan. You executed civilians trying to surrender. You destroyed evacuation ships carrying families. We learned from your example." The planet-killer missiles launched simultaneously across all Vorthon worlds. The weapons penetrated deep into planetary cores before detonating, triggering massive geological instability that would tear the worlds apart from within. On Vorthos Prime, the first earthquakes began within minutes of the missile impact. Massive volcanic eruptions followed, filling the atmosphere with ash and poisonous gases. The planet's core was destabilizing and nothing could stop the destruction. Similar devastation unfolded on every Vorthon world. Planets that had supported life for millions of years were dying in hours. their surfaces becoming uninhabitable hellscapes of fire and destruction. The survivors in New Busan's mining tunnels monitored the Vorthon communications as their empire collapsed. Engineer Park Gino listened to the desperate transmissions with grim satisfaction. "They're calling for evacuation ships that will never come," he reported to Earth. "Their fleet is destroyed. Their worlds are dying, and they finally understand what they did to us." Dr. Kim Nari had documented everything for the historical record. The Vorthons are experiencing exactly what they inflicted on New Busan: complete and systematic destruction of their civilization. The final phase of Operation Silent Thunder was Captain Nam Suk's deployment of the Ragnarok weapon. The stellar destabilization device fired a concentrated quantum beam into the heart of the Vorthon system's star. "Weapon deployed," Nam Suk reported. "Stellar collapse will begin in approximately 4 hours." The star began to destabilize, its fusion reactions becoming increasingly unstable as the quantum field disruption spread through its core. The red giant would soon go supernova, creating an explosion visible from hundreds of light-years away. Across 17 star systems, the last Vorthon transmissions grew weaker as their worlds died. The species that had murdered 2,124 innocent humans was facing complete extinction in return. "All planets show critical geological failure," reported General Lim Yuna. "Estimated time to complete uninhabitability, 6 hours for most worlds. Immediate for the home system when the star goes supernova." Admiral Kang Minho watched the death of Vorthos Prime from orbit. The planet's surface was now covered in volcanic activity and toxic clouds. Nothing could survive in that environment. "All ships, mission accomplished. The Vorthon Empire has been eliminated." His voice carried the weight of what they had just done. Justice has been served for New Busan. The fleet remained in position to ensure complete destruction. Long-range sensors confirmed that no Vorthon ships had escaped the simultaneous attacks. The entire species was trapped on their dying worlds. 4 hours later, the Vorthon home system star went supernova. The explosion was visible across half the galaxy, a brilliant flash that announced the end of a civilization that had chosen genocide over coexistence. Captain Lee Hanna recorded the final moments for Earth's historical archives. "The Vorthon Empire is extinct. Their homeworld and all their colonies have been destroyed. Total casualties, 2.3 billion. They killed 2,024 of our people. We killed all of theirs." The surviving humans from New Busan were rescued as Earth's fleet completed its mission. Park Gino, Dr. Kim Nari, and their 20 companions had witnessed both the destruction of their home and the complete annihilation of those responsible. "Is it over?" asked Civilian Council leader Choi Dae as he was brought aboard the rescue ship. "It's over," Admiral Kang Minho confirmed. "The Vorthons are extinct. They will never threaten anyone again." News of the successful operation spread throughout human space and beyond. Other alien species that had been monitoring the situation took careful note of humanity's response to unprovoked aggression. President Kim Tae addressed the galaxy from Earth. "Let this serve as a lesson to any species considering aggression against humanity. We are peaceful by choice, not weakness. Attack our people and face complete destruction in return.